Hi, I'm Joshua Weaver, Staff Liaison for the State Bar of Texas to Trail. In this segment, we'll discuss the ethical responsibilities attorneys must consider when using AI in their practice, from client confidentiality to competence and transparency. When you're using AI in your practice, there are a handful of ethics rules that you need to be keeping in mind. So first of all, remember the Model Rule 1.1 Comment 8 from the ABA, which we have adopted in Texas. And this rule states that you must be aware of the risks and benefits of any technology that you're using, including AI. So what does that actually mean? Fortunately, the Texas Ethics Committee has produced Opinion 705, and that gives us some practical guidance on what to consider. So number one, you need to think about data privacy and security. That means use a paid account, use a paid business account, and get a letter from the provider that freezes the terms of the data privacy and security. In addition to that, you need to always keep a human in the loop. So never blindly trust that the AI is giving completely correct answers. We know that AI has a propensity to do something called hallucination, and that means that it confidently gives you information that sounds good, but it's not actually factually true. So keep a human in the loop to verify and make sure that the information the AI producing is correct. Then, depending on where you're practicing, you may need to be prepared to disclose to your clients and potentially to the court that you are using AI and explain how you're using it, and even potentially why it's a benefit to use the AI. One thing that I would always keep in mind is that AI is moving very quickly. And so as you are working on implementing AI, it is critically important, more than it ever has been with any other form of technology, that you continue to keep on learning. Don't think that because you've got it right now, it's going to stay the same in the future. You need to be always progressing, always checking in, and always learning. So many attorneys want to know, what about confidentiality? Is there any confidentiality concern with using sensitive information about a case, and plugging that into artificial intelligence? And I'm going to give you the cheat code first, and then I'll explain it. So the question is, would you take that same piece of information and using your business email, would you feel comfortable emailing that data to one of the other folks that works in your firm? If the answer to that question is yes, then my answer to you about whether it's safe to use AI is that the answer is also yes, provided that you have an actual paid business account with one of the reputable AI providers. What I'm really saying is that, roughly speaking, email and artificial intelligence afford you the same protections if you have a business plan. So you don't need to be overly concerned these days about confidentiality issues, as long as you've taken the proper steps to set up your account correctly. So when you're using artificial intelligence, there's a whole range of risk associated with the tasks that you're performing. For example, if I am just drafting a quick test message to a friend, inviting them out for dinner, and I use AI to draft the text, the risk of anything going wrong is very low. On the other hand, if I am drafting a motion that may be dispositive in a case, then if the AI makes a mistake and I don't catch it, that risk for my case, for my client, and for my license is very high. So what do you need to do? Essentially, you need to trust but verify. You need to have a process and a system in place where whoever in your firm, including yourself, that's using AI, always make sure that there is a written down policy and process to say that when I put my signature on this line, that means that I have verified that the work product is correct. On TexasBarPractice.com, the AI Toolkit has great guidelines and hints on how to implement a practical policy for yourself and your organization. And I think the main key is that this just isn't something to ignore, right? Even if you have an imperfect policy, it's better to have something that's written down, something that you've discussed with your staff, and then to have recurring reminders not to forget about it, right? I think the key here is, don't just have the policy, but retrain on it at least once a month so that everybody stays fresh. There's more to explore in this section, including formal opinions and best practices that can help you use AI tools responsibly and in alignment with the Texas professional standards. Again, I'm Joshua Weaver. Thank you.